Story 1. I am often told my hands are beautiful because I have long, thin fingers. When people notice them, they sometimes touch them and immediately compliment me. Story 2. I am a 75-year-old male. My brain, hands down. The rest of my body, no one would ever call me good-looking. Until I developed cancer, I was stronger than most, had faster reflexes, very good hand-eye coordination, and rarely got sick. No, I did not look like a bodybuilder. In fact, most people were surprised at how strong I was. I looked quite ordinary. So physically, nothing special to be proud of, at least in terms of appearance. Story 3. I never would have thought I'd say this, since I really hate periods and all the things that come with them, but my uterus and ovaries are growing a whole human right now, and all I have to do is eat, drink, and sleep. In just 2 months, it has limbs, organs, and a brain. It's just incredible. Story 4. My hazel green eyes have 3 freckles on one side that resemble Orion's belt. Story 5. Girls like my multicolored eyes and long, curly, blonde hair, but I have a big scar that runs from my ankle to my knee. I make up all kinds of wild stories about how I got it. It's a fun conversation piece. Story 6. I am a nearly 40-year-old man with very long, strawberry blonde hair that reaches my butt. I get comments about it daily and have been the envy of many. I have received the occasional joke or negative comment from a man, to which I always reply, "Want to ask your girlfriend or wife what she thinks about it?" Women often try to touch or grope it without asking, which is the only negative thing I can say about it. I have never dyed or otherwise altered it, except for occasional trims for split ends. I started growing it nearly 15 years ago, and most people who know me now have never seen me with short hair. Story 7. I am German-Canadian but have a small amount of Native American ancestry that shows in my eyes, cheekbones, and hair. I like it. Story 8. I am proud of my size as a man. I am not the biggest, but I have had enough partners boost my ego in that area. Regarding what I can control, I have a sleeper build. I can lift nearly twice my weight, yet others see a scrawny man who appears weak. It is kind of funny to watch their faces when I lift 200 pounds. Story 9. My glorious, gigantic buttocks are not just large. They are also firm and do not droop despite my age. Other parts of me used to garner the most attention and accolades, but today it is my buttocks. I can live with that. Story 10. My lower abdomen shows surgical scars from endometriosis excision surgery about 2 years ago, extending into the upper pelvic area. They are a testament to my strength and resilience. I went through a lot advocating for myself while trying to get a diagnosis. Story 11. I'm a particular fan of my nose. It's a nice size with a cute shape, sits perfectly, and lets me smell amazing things like pretty flowers or my mom's cooking. I think it's lovely. Story 12. My calves and thighs are fairly large for someone who rarely exercises. Story 13. Nose and eyelashes. My eyelashes are finally long again after I ruined them for 2 years with false eyelashes and glue. Story 14. I've always had a small, pretty flat butt. It wasn't bad. It had a little shape, but it was very small. I've been working out at the gym. I've lost 70 pounds, and I finally have some cake to bounce. Aside from my arms, my butt has shown the most muscle growth. Story 15. My bones. Damn, they might as well be made of vibranium. I'm a clumsy motherfucker. There have been so many times when I should have broken a bone and didn't. Story 16. I have a really pretty and unique birthmark of freckles on my left hand that looks like a constellation. My hands, aside from the birthmark, also resemble my mom's hands, and I love having a visible reminder of her. Story 17. My hair. I do my best to take care of it. Brush it, use a heat protector when I dry and curl it, style it in ways that make me feel pretty, and use soft, pretty scrunchies to braid it while it is damp. In return, it is soft and shiny, with dimples that make it easy to tuck behind my ears. The woman who cuts my hair has been cutting it since my mother took me for my first professional haircut when I was 8 months old. I got upset and swatted at the scissors whenever my mother tried, and she was worried I would get hurt, so she stopped cutting it herself. At my last haircut, she told me my hair is the healthiest she has ever seen and has almost no damage. Story 18. I can help, but I need to confirm that everyone mentioned was 18 or older. Please confirm. I cannot assist with sexual content involving minors. Story 19. Beard. It's the only thing carrying me. Laughing out loud. I look terrible without it. Story 20. Probably my thighs. I like their shape and how they look under skirts. I also like my waist. Story 21. My eyes are a cool mixture of colors. My legs are skinny but muscular. My hair is thick with natural variation, from blonde strands to brown or reddish tones. Story 22. I'm a man, and I sometimes get compliments about my butt and my lips. Apart from that, I'm short, so I feel invisible to most women. I'm not proud of anything, really. Story 23. All of it, really. 45 and in better shape than people half my age. Story 24. I bet those science chicks really dig that large cranium of yours, huh? I think they are more interested in my epididymis. Story 25. Of natural things, my hair, for sure. It reaches my waist and is a very pretty dark brown with natural gold and auburn highlights. Among unnatural things, my tattoos. Story 26. My legs are pretty strong. My neck is good. Also, the guy downstairs is not bad either. Story 27. My brain and heart have been through a lot, but they are so strong and resilient. Story 28. My heart is an amazing organ, especially during pregnancy when it pumps up to 50% more blood. Story 29. My thighs are strong and keep me going. I used to hate them because my grandmother said my shorts looked tacky when they rode up in the center from my chub rub. Now I wear short shorts and let my thighs see the light of day. They are not small and I don't care if they touch. They are also sexy. Story 30. My brain has benefited. I have spent, and am still paying, more than $300,000 for my graduate and postgraduate education, and it serves me and my family well. Story 31. Weirdly, I would say my nose. It fits perfectly with my face. Story 32. My dainty hands are very good at making things, and my feet keep me moving. Story 33. I've always had extremely flexible feet and have done nothing with them. Now I'm starting ballet and it's coming in handy. Story 34. Despite its best efforts to kill me, my brain failed. I am still alive. Story 35. I used to weigh 300 pounds. I have abdominal muscles now. Being sober and moving around helps a great deal. For your information, Story 36. En mi mente, la capacidad de cumplir con todo, pese a que esté pasando por una crisis, es algo de lo que siempre me he sentido orgullosa. A veces es agotador. Story 37. My hair is very strong and thick, and every hairstylist I have visited enjoys working with it. It is currently dyed purple and black. Story 38. I use my hands for a lot of practical work. My fingers are long, and my nails are very pretty. Story 39. I have all 4 wisdom teeth. My dentist always comments on how rare that is and how lucky I am to have naturally straight teeth. Those traits do not typically go hand in hand. Story 40. My smile is warm. I have a full set of large white teeth, full lips, and dimples. Not only large dimples but many small ones around my mouth, cheeks, and chin. Story 41. My face is ugly, but at least I can enjoy video games. Story 42. My liver recovered. After 25 years of heavy alcohol use, I developed alcoholic hepatitis and fatty liver on ultrasound, but it has since healed and is now healthy. Story 43. My liver, constantly hardworking and underpaid, keeps things clean after my bad choices. Story 44. I have not been blessed with the best eyesight, but my hearing is almost as good as that of a dog. Story 45. My hair is curly only when styled in professional salons. I love my face and my brown skin. Story 46. My stomach has been through a lot of bad decisions and still shows up to work every day. Story 47. Every man who has seen it bare has said I have a great butt. Story 48. I get lots of compliments on my eyelashes, eyebrows, and ankles. I laugh out loud, so I guess those are my best features. Story 49. Brain, hair 3 feet long, sometimes rainbow. I color hookers green, breasts very large. Story 50. They are not visible, but I have strong tendons. They help me win at arm wrestling. Story 51. According to my husband, my perfect butt is my best feature. I laugh out loud. I guess I am most proud of my smile. Story 52. Supposedly my calves are quite desirable. I am a 37-year-old East Asian male, and I feel grateful for my non-receding hairline and facial hair. Story 53. People always compliment my eyes, but the sun is my biggest enemy and I can barely see. Story 54. Is it weird that I feel proud overall of my body, of how I look, and of how I present myself? Story 55. My eyes look good, but they do not see well. Story 56. My hair is thick and blonde. Women often stop me to ask where I get it done. Story 57. My comically large head, which I worked very hard to grow into. Story 58. I have a small, cute mole dead center on my chin. It is my favorite. Story 59. I worked hard to make my stomach perfect. A few months ago I became depressed and regained some weight, but I lost most of it. I am so relieved to see my stomach looking great again. Thank you, ketogenic diet. Story 60. Very recently my arms have changed a lot. I have been lifting consistently, and it is amazing how fast my arms went from soft and squishy to being unable to wrap my hand around my biceps. My front deltoids are rock hard and have increased in size, although not yet on par with my biceps and triceps. My calves make my lower legs look like chicken legs. Thin around the ankles but massive and strong at the top. Story 61. I lost 80 pounds and did not know my penis was above average. Story 62. My eyes are fine. Although things get a bit blurry without glasses, they work very well in twilight when my wife needs a torch. Story 63. Proud is probably the wrong word, but I like how flexible my shoulders are. I can scratch every part of my back by myself without issue. Story 64. I have a very nice penis. It is a shame the rest of me is kind of mediocre. Story 65. Why should I not love every part of my body? A healthy person should love their whole body. Story 66. I think the part one I'm most proud of is my buttocks. When I was younger, I had neither breasts nor buttocks. Now that I am older, I do have breasts, and my buttocks look fantastic. I am proud of them. I also have nice thighs now, so I am happy with my body's evolution. Story 67. I have been told I have broad shoulders and big arms. Women like to kiss and playfully hit my arms. Story 68. My skin periodically tries to kill me. My mother died of melanoma at a young age. I had a scare as a child and again when I was 28, when doctors said it had been caught early. I get screened every 6 months, and caring for my skin has led me to appreciate and pay attention to the rest of my health. Please wear sunscreen and get screened. Story 69. I have a very pretty V-shaped back with a line in the middle. I always get compliments from women when I wear dresses that show my back. Story 70. My skin tone is a specific shade of brown and changes with the seasons. I also like my hair when I wash it and my eyes. I like my feet and my lips. Nothing too crazy or attention-grabbing. It is like having $1 million in the bank. It goes unnoticed until someone notices. Story 71. My eyes have witnessed too much nonsense and still work fine. Story 72. Legs and ass. When I'm out in girl mode and rocking it in heels, my female friends are jealous that I look better than them. Story 73. Every man in my family starts balding in his early 30s, but I have not. Story 74. My brain allows me to think through difficult things. Story 75. I have pretty, straight teeth. I did not realize how lucky I was to have good dental and orthodontic care as a kid. I have had only 2 cavities in my entire life. I have been to the dentist once in the last 13 years. I also have a large butt. As I am losing weight, it has remained proportionately large and round. I used to get made fun of for this as a teenager, but beauty standards have finally swayed in my favor. Story 76. I have really pretty eyes and a nice figure. At least that is what I have been told. Story 77. I have long gray hair. I'm sure my wife loves that I'm neither fat nor bald. Story 78. It has taken years of weightlifting to develop my trapezius muscles to this size. Story 79. I was proud of one part, but it is now rotting like the rest of my body. That part is rotting the most. Story 80. My belly button is totally unique to me. My eyes are also unique. People have told me they are pretty. Story 81. Pectoral muscles. I can easily bench press 140% of my body weight for multiple repetitions. 25 years ago, I could not imagine that. I was skinny fat with what people call boy boobs and did not realize you had to exercise and control your diet to look like people on television because that part is never shown in the television shows and movies you watch. Story 82. Although many things have gone wrong with my skin, it is beautiful, hydrated, and clear. Story 83. I can do a lot of things with my hands, including fixing cars and embroidering. Story 84. I have a very rare combination of red hair and blue eyes. Story 85. I don't know. I just love my breasts. I get as excited as some men when I see them bare. No matter how much I look at them, they do not look bad. Story 86. My womb and my breasts. I feel like my womb has been through a lot, having undergone in vitro fertilization, pregnancy, and a cesarean section. I used to hate my breasts, but how could I, knowing they provided so much nourishment and comfort to my daughter? I am proud of my womb and my breasts for doing exactly what I needed them to do. Story 87. I feel weird saying this, but I have bright green eyes, full lips, natural fullness not fake looking, a nice smile, large breasts and freckles. In the summer, when I get a tan, my freckles cover my face and shoulders and my eyes pop even more with mascara. I have been told I have cat eyes, and people have lost their train of thought when talking to me because of them. Story 88. According to my friends, I have thighs like Mutwo. Story 89. My penis still functions at 70, even after prostate surgery. I am blessed. Story 90. Permit me to brag just once. My shoulders and upper arms are well developed. I still have fat to shred on my stomach, but the effort I have put into building strength has made me both strong and muscular. I take pride in that, mostly because I am natural and have honed my body through gym workouts and outdoor exercise for over 10 years. Thank you for indulging this humble brag. I await the flaming arrows of downvotes. Story 91. I have incredibly sharp elbows. You read that correctly. I am not particularly proud of it. It is simply something I have noticed for no particular reason. Story 92. My hands are very thick. A world champion arm wrestler complimented them. Story 93. My entire midsection is putting in the work at 35 weeks pregnant. Special shout out to my knees for their continued efforts. Story 94. I have a big head, big feet, big hands, and a very big brain. Story 95. Not my penis for sure. I am proud of the rest of my organs. Story 96. My brain has helped me through some challenges and is carrying me back to safety, provided I take care of it too. Story 97. Body part rather than a facial feature. My butt and hips when I am at my healthy weight, which I am not far from now. Story 98. I get compliments on my blue eyes regularly, but I cannot see outside. Story 99. My inner pectorals. I grew up with a sunken chest, and as my bench press numbers increased, only the outer pectorals developed. I thought I would never have a clear center line between the halves, but 3 years ago I hired a personal trainer, worked hard, and now someone can pinch a finger between my pectorals when they place their hand on my chest. Story 100. My eyebrows are by far my most complimented body part, especially by girls and even by my own sisters. Story 101. I am an avid cyclist and I always get comments on my legs and butt. People are probably referring to my genitals. Story 102. My thighs, hands down, are the strongest. I am a big man and have been blessed with excellent genetics on both sides of my family. They are very powerful, which contributes to a great golf and softball swing. Story 103. I often say that my brain is the most valuable part of my body, and if anything happened to it, I want my people to have my back and make sure I do not have to live without it. But selfishly, I like my eyes. I wear glasses, so they are not very noticeable, but they are a really nice blue color. For your amusement, I was complimented and envied by other girls at horse camp for my pretty hands. Story 104. I am a big fan of my hair and eyes and often get compliments on them and my smile. I usually smile because I floss and brush thoroughly. Story 105. I have 5 freckles in the shape of a pentagon on my arm. They are perfectly spaced now, but they did not used to be, so I expect they will go out of alignment again as I age. Story 106. I have not seen my jawline in 12 years because I have not been clean-shaven. I would be more proud of my back, since I work out a lot. Story 107. Honestly, my penis is big, thick, and pretty. My best assets are my penis and my hands. Story 108. My loose, but not fat, belly with 1 stretch mark after 2 babies. Story 109. My shoulders are pretty strong and I can carry more weight. Story 110. My eyes and eyebrows, specifically their shape, shading, eyelashes, and fine texture, make me seem wicked and provide a vivid display of my nature. Story 111. My penis is really good, to be honest. 18 centimeters, fairly thick. I would say it is ideal for sex, not massive, a bit much for some, but usually perfect. Story 112. My stomach. I haven't thrown up since 1997. I'm proud of you, little guy. Story 113. I stopped coloring my hair during lockdown. It now shows gray, silver, brown, and blonde tones. People often ask where I get it colored, but I tell them I grew it myself. Story 114. My legs are strong. I climb ladders for a living, working in blue-collar jobs, so I have large, defined calves and solid glutes. Story 115. I invested heavily in my education and in developing critical thinking. Story 116. I have a skin tag on my scrotum. I like to pretend it is a miniature scrotum when I am fondling it. His name is Colin. Story 117. As an Asian person, double eyelids and long lashes are often seen as desirable. Luckily, I have both. Story 118. My mouth can get a classroom of teenagers to fall silent or to utter oohs and ahs in impressed tones. Story 119. I don't know if this counts, but my strength and flexibility have made my recent recovery from knee replacement surgery much easier than for most people. I'm not hypermobile, just flexible. Story 120. My hair has been pink for 5.5 years, and I have no intention of turning back. Story 121. I have blue eyes with central heterochromia, yellow in the center. My teeth were almost perfect at birth. I did not need braces, but I had to use a palatal expander at 8 years old and never had a problem with tooth alignment. Story 122. My skin tone. I suspect many Black people have gone through life hating their skin tone. I choose to love mine in all its glory. Story 123. I have large 12-inch genitalia. My imagination is pretty good, too. In all seriousness, I get a lot of compliments on my eyes. Story 124. 1. My teeth. Only 2 cavities in my whole life, and I got them well into adulthood. Did you know pregnancy affects your teeth? 2. My legs. I'm not talking about how they look because I rarely show or see them, but they are very strong. 3. My brain. I'm funny. Story 125. I've got a great mustache, and I'm proud of it because I have trichotillomania. For a while, I struggled to keep my eyebrows. Story 126. The only somewhat good things about my body are probably my shoulders, eyes, and eye, so I would say one of those. Story 127. Probably my breasts because I paid for them with the raise I got after finishing my master's degree. Story 128. The rectum, thankfully, can still tell the difference between a liquid and a gas for now. Story 129. I guess I would have to say my blue-gray eyes or my eyelashes. People say they like my nose, but I don't. Story 130. Everything together makes this perfect body unstoppable. I messed up my face a few times, but those are battle scars. Story 131. People tell me I have nice calves. I suppose they mean my lower legs. I am a heavy-set man who runs and cycles a lot, so I am almost always doing leg day. I am not very hairy, so I do not have a Chewbacca look. It is okay, I suppose. My wife is extremely attractive. Story 132. My eyes have central heterochromia and very long eyelashes. Story 133. I love my lips, eyes, and smile. I also love my waist to hip ratio. My hair is great too. Story 134. I had very little sight in that eye for 2 months after an accident. With the doctor's care, I still have nerve damage and light sensitivity, but my eyesight is back. It was a blessing. Story 135. My lungs are fine. I had lung disease 10 years ago with significant scarring that has since healed entirely. Story 136. I am grateful for my hands. If it were not for them, I would not be able to write, eat, or work comfortably. Story 137. My eyes are blue and my hair is blonde. Ladies, contact me. I'm lonely. Story 138. My blue eyes. I've been complimented on them since I was a kid. Story 139. I've been told I have very soft hands in a nice way and slim fingers suited to various instruments. Story 140. My beard is full and thick, with cool white spots only on the chin. Story 141. I never received many compliments. Then I received one about my penis. I don't know how to answer the question based on how I feel. Story 142. I have abdominal and core muscles, I guess because most people do not and they are difficult to achieve. I do not care if a man does not like abdominal muscles on a woman. I think they are sexy. Story 143. It took me years of working out to get my shoulders where they are, and they finally look balanced. Story 144. I have a youthful appearance. I'm 39, but people say I look 28. Story 145. I have an ear tag. My dad also has one, so when my sibling and I get into a "you are adopted" debate, I bring that up. Story 146. Dentists and hygienists often compliment my teeth. I also receive compliments about my legs. Story 147. My wife says I have an amazing penis. I have that going for me. Story 148. My legs have carried me to places and pushed me through. Story 149. I have a long torso that gives me naturally defined abs without exercising. Story 150. I'm a 10. I love my body and face, but my inability to take care of them is a problem. So I'd say my brain is the body part I'm least proud of. Story 151. Breasts are feeding my baby. The female body is such a miracle. Story 152. Weirdly, my calves get noticed. Marshall Erickson would be proud. I have had women check out my calves in the gym after seeing me use heavy weights on the calf press. It was one of my proudest moments. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.